Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your boy, Joby Styles. You already know where it's at. You already know what it is. I ain't even gonna tell you. At this point, you here with me. You've been rocking with me. For all the people who haven't, just subscribe and get the notifications and like it. Just so you know, you can catch up with everybody else, okay? So today, we're very, very exciting video. We are doing complexion and we're doing brow. I have two types of brows going on. We're doing that more Instagram brow, and we're also doing that more natural brow as well. I have the natural one over here, and that more Instagram sculpted brow here. People have been requesting it, so I got it to you. So without further ado, stay tuned. I got you, boo. We're gonna start off with skincare, of course. That is the best first step for a beautiful complexion. So because I am oily and I have some dark spots going on, I am going to use Sunday Riley Good Genes. I usually get about 1 to 2 pumps, smooth it onto the skin. So after we've prepped our skin with our skincare, what I like to do next is a primer. A primer is going to be that middle layer in between your makeup and your actual skin and skincare. What I'm going to be using today is, boom, you guys seen me use it in my last milk video. I'm going to be using the Blur Stick Primer where I'm oily, and then I'm going to be using the Luminous Blur Stick where I want that glow. Like I said before, I'm oily, I like to have that mattification, but I still want to glow. First, I'm using the original Blur Stick. Then I go ahead and use the Luminous Blur Stick where I want that extra glow. And so I literally kept it tops of the cheekbones, down the nose, on the forehead, and a little bit on the chin as well. Just everywhere where you normally would highlight, where you want to bring those features out, that's where you really want to put that glow. So now that I have on both primers, I just like to go ahead and with my hands, pat, 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 pat. So I'm just going to go ahead and make sure all of that's blended in. When you're choosing your foundation, you want something that's going to really match nicely to your skin tone. A lot of people like to match to like their décolleté. That's normally what I kind of like to match myself to. I do get a little tan. It's summer right now, so I do get a little bit more warm in my perimeter and when the sun shines. So I like to put that tone back with a bronzer, but I do normally like to match to like right along here, which is noticeably lighter. That's why when you see me do my videos, I am pretty light when I put my foundation on, and then after everything else, it kind of tones it back down, because that's what I like to match to make sure everything actually works together nicely. Lately, since it is summer, I have been using my NARS foundation. What I've noticed about this, it isn't really that matte. It is the Radiant Longwear foundation, so first word in it is radiant. Hello. But like I said, I like that glow. So I don't really mind that it's not completely matte. My powders and everything makes it more matte anyways, so I don't mind because it actually has a beautiful finish and it just looks like skin. This is actually the one I'm going to be using today. Like I said, this is the NARS, the Natural Radiant Longwear foundation, and the color I'm using is Macao. This is one of my favorites. Alright, so to apply your foundation, you can use brushes, you can use sponges. People use their fingers. No, I don't recommend that. But I like to use a sponge. And guys, I have finally, y'all know I've been on a sponge mission. I'm pretty sure you've seen a couple of different sponges in my videos. The Beauty Blender has been my everything. I finally found something, dare I say, could be almost better in my opinion. If you haven't tried the Real Technique sponge, I know I'm late. I am late. It's been out for forever. People have been swearing about it. People have been loving it. I haven't tried it because I'm like, oh well, I like my Beauty Blender. Why would I need to do that? I honestly think it was like $9.99 or $14.99 for 2 of them. It has this nice flat side, and then it has the rounded side as well, and the pointed side too, which is good for the concealer. I have fell in love with this sponge. Guys, y'all know how much I love my Beauty Blender. This guy, she's the truth. Depending on how much coverage you want, I usually do about 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 for my neck. And then I take my Beauty Blender and, well, my Real Technique sponge applicator, and I'm taking the flat side and I'm just gonna go right into that. I'm gonna apply it right where I want that coverage. So right through there, on the forehead, on my neck. I'm gonna kind of dabble it on there and then I blend it out. So we're gonna go right in here. Boom. Boom. Forehead and the neck. That's kind of where I started, and then also where I always run, like my foundation always goes away from me on my nose because I'm super oily there. I go ahead and hit her too, just for extras. And so once all of that's off my hand, I know that I'm good. I don't really need any more, and if I do, I can always bounce back and get, you know, just get another pump or two and add that onto my hand and then, or onto the sponge. I like to do it onto my hand just so I can gauge how much I'm doing at once. And then we just blend out. Alright, so now that our foundation's on, I'm going to go ahead and use my concealer. This is my Sephora Collection Bright Future Serum Concealer. I believe it has pineapple ceramides inside of it, which actually smooths the skin out nicely, which I actually really like. This is the perfect concealer for just like everyday wear. I know some people say, oh, it's not enough coverage, but I don't need like that super shape tape coverage or anything like that. I like to have a natural finish to my makeup and not have it look like I did a lot. I am the color Creme Caramel in this, and I use this as like my highlighting concealer for the most part. I don't really conceal for dark circles or dark marks or anything like that. I just do it just to give my skin a nice glow. My inner part of my face is brighter than the out part anyway, so this kind of gives that glow back. I'm gonna apply this right under my eyes and anywhere where I just want it to bring forward. That's what highlighting is about, bringing those surface areas forward and then contouring to bring those, to make them recede and bring it back. So that way you get that three-dimensional shape through shading and lighting. Highlighting and contouring. All right, so we're gonna apply that right in the eyes. Boom, that's all I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do any more than that, and I don't fill in that whole box because honestly, you really don't need that much concealer. It's gonna blend out anyways, so that's good. I'm gonna do a little bit on my nose, just because I like to do that. Point. I take a little bit on my forehead, right in those areas there. I also take it along my brow bone, just to give a little lift, nothing too crazy. Sides of the nose and the chin as well. That's honestly, I know it looks like it could be a lot, but when I blend it out, and I'm gonna blend it out with you in real time so you can literally see how this works, because honestly, it's not magic. It's, you put it on, you blend it out, plain and simple. Alright, so I'm going to take that same sponge I used for my foundation and I'm going to turn it and use this side here. This side is designed to fit under in the under eye area. So literally I'm going to turn it this way and I'm going to just tapping motions right up in there. I kind of turn it and so it can get right in that under eye. And just tap, 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 bring it out along that cheekbone. Bring it in. I bring it along the side of the nose and I blend it out. I'm going to go ahead and get that. And I'm kind of bring it across the eye as well, just so everything is nice and copacetic. You see that? That quick. That quick. Get the chin. Oh, and by the way, I don't think I mentioned it, this is damp. You gotta damp your sponge. I know I should have said it at the beginning of the video. Dampen the sponge. I'm gonna go ahead and do the forehead. I usually save the nose for last, only because, like I said, my product does not last on my nose. That's my oiliest area. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend that down very carefully. I like a little bit of nose highlight. Okay, so that's all it was. I know it looked like overwhelming when I applied it, but literally you do it, boom, 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 and it's light just in the face. That's how you do it. Now that we have our foundation and concealer on, I'm gonna go ahead and set. Some people like to use setting powder, some people like to use setting sprays. I like to use both because, like I said, I'm oily, so I like to make sure she's together. Oh, that was a good one. So this is the Fit Me powder that I'm gonna be using today. This is their loose finishing powder in the color 30, which is the medium deep. Comes like this, and I normally just take a little bit, boop, 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 right into the cap. I use that same damp beauty blender, and with that same area, I go right into the powder. And I get a good amount, and then I tap off any excess, just so it can evenly go on there. And I just go ahead and go right in the area where we blended it out. So we're gonna place it right in the under eye. Boom. And this one I like to use because it is a little brighter, so it's gonna give me that bright effect to really preserve my concealer and the highlight color. So I literally put in the same area where our concealer is under the eye and where how we blended it out to be. I'm gonna do the same thing on my nose and on my chin and on my forehead as well. So next step is kind of bronzing and getting that tone back together. You can do this with an actual bronzer. I actually love to use the Sephora Micro Smooth Powder. I know you've seen this in videos. This is kind of like a favorites video because I'm using kind of like all my favorite products, with the exception of that Fit Me powder, which is kind of new to me. But I like to apply this with my Mikasa F100 brush. So I'm just gonna go ahead and swirl up in there a little bit, not too crazy. Tap that excess off. Actually, yeah, I kind of want a little more on there. I like to tap it while it's like this, so the excess kind of goes into the brush. So literally right in here, I always start there because I have a big forehead and I want to tone it down. So I start doing my little circles, and you see the colors coming in. Boom. I take it along right here, just to blend her out a little. Boom. Go back down here. Yes. If you see the color's not going nowhere, get a little bit more powder. Okay? Gonk, gonk, gonk. Boom, boom, boom. See? See that? Take it along the neck as well. Blend her out. Blend her out. I love it. And so now that's a lot more subtle. And just go ahead and take it along. I mean, if you're lighter and it's actually going to show more and not give you your tone back and actually give you a warmth to the skin, you can kind of do it wherever the sun hits you and you naturally tan. For my darker skin folks, and you're bringing back to your color, you kind of just want to blend it into your desired amount to get your tone back in the perimeter of like kind of how you started, so it looks more natural. Alright, so now that you mostly got all the lines blended out and everything, and there's not much left on the brush, I actually use this to sweep away that excess powder. And that way whatever's left on the brush kind of tones it down a little bit as well. So I'll go ahead and get it on the forehead. And I like that it's not that much product left because it's not going to take away all of your highlighting, but it's going to just warm it up to make it look a little bit more natural. And I go in. You don't have to put as much as me, but I go in to the point where it's like almost dripping, not completely. And then what I like to do is not move too much and then use something to fan myself. And just let that dry. Alright, so now that our complexion is completed, what you can do next, you can add maybe like a little bit of highlighter. You know what? I think I will. So the highlighter I have been rocking with as of late is the Black Up Jenny Jenkins, honey. Alright, so now that we've completed complexion, I went ahead and threw on a little lip gloss. I actually put on the Urban Decay Back Talk lip gloss. Well, it's actually their Hi-Fi Shine lip glosses in the color Back Talk. Now it is the long awaited time brow, in-depth brow tutorial. How about that? I know you've been waiting for it. A couple of you have been asking, so it's the time. But I put this right in the middle of the video, so you have to watch till here. or you can skip here. But we're not gonna talk about that. We're gonna just go ahead and get into it. All right, so in the world of brows, there are so many different things you can use for brows. I know it can be really intimidating, but I'm here to guide you through it. All right, first what I wanna do is the nice natural brow. I think I'm gonna do it on this brow here, and then I'm gonna show you the more dramatic one on this brow here. For the more natural everyday brow, I'm gonna use the Anastasia Brow Wiz in the color medium brown. I'm going to use the spoolie to comb out the hairs. Some people like to do their brows before their foundation. Honestly, I do it either or. So now we're gonna take this and we're gonna fill in, starting with the tail of the brow. And I'm doing little short strokes. Kind of seeing the shape of the brow that I want. Fill it in there. Gonna give me some shape here. And I'm gonna go to about there, honestly. I don't wanna go too far forward because that's where our Gimme Brow is gonna fill it in a little bit and give it a little bit more body. I just kinda wanted to give it a little bit more shape and fill in where I have some holes. See that? Keeping it nice and natural. I'm gonna brush through it with that spoolie to kind of disperse that and not have any harsh lines to the brows. Now we're gonna go ahead and take that Benefit Gimme Brow in the number 3, and I'm going to comb through the brow, starting up in here where there's a little bit more hairs, and then taking it here to kind of fill that in very softly. And I like how tiny this is because if you want to, you can kind of get a little shape going. Boom. And just brush her through. And I do take it through the whole brow just to kind of give it that tint, and because it actually kind of sets it too. How do you like that? After that, I still put on clear brow gel on top of that. Clear brow gel is literally a brow setter. Yeah, so I just go through after that and just swoon, go through her. Yep. For days where it's gonna be hot and sweaty, I'll take just this point here and kind of put it through there to really make it last longer. And it gives your brows a nice natural sheen as well. And really make sure they stay. This brow is cute. For a nice natural brow, quick and easy, huh? Yeah, you can do that. Little pencil, wham bam, fill in the shape, boom boom boom. With the Gimme Brow, clear brow gel to set it off, we're good. So now what I'm gonna do is the more dramatic brow. I know I already did my complexion and everything. Normally if I do a more dramatic brow, I would do it before I do my complexion because I use the concealer to sculpt it and everything. So bear with me because it's gonna move my complexion. My complexion's looking good. I don't wanna really ruin it by doing concealer everywhere. So I'm gonna do the concealer very lightly. What I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna use a pencil. So I'm gonna use my Goof Proof Brow, and it's a little thicker, which is okay because the dip brow is thick, honey. You gotta put up where you wanna. All right, so we're gonna do a little bit more dramatic on this side. I'm gonna use that. First, I'm gonna comb out my brows just like I did on the other side. And I'm going to kind of create the shape with the pencil first before I even step in to that dip brow. So I usually like to start on the tail. And I kind of start where I want the brow to curve. So I go right in here, kind of build it up, and then create my curve there. And the way you kind of want to do it is, you see here, from your nose to there, like past the color in your eye, that's where the point is, usually the arch, okay? So I'm gonna take it there, and then your brow normally, if I don't know if anyone ever showed you this trick, boom, that's where your brow starts. Right after the color, that's where the point is, and then boom, that's where your brow normally would end. So we're just continuing, filling that in, creating that shape. I'm gonna come in a little closer, honey. So I am going to go ahead and create that shape that I want. See that? And just follow your natural brow shape. Shit. Do too much, it's okay. You got your brush. Boom, 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 boom. It cleans it right up. And then you're gonna have your concealer afterwards too to clean it up as well. Alright. So once you've pretty much got your shape down the way you want it, now I'm gonna go ahead and use the dip brow on top of that. And that's kind of like the cheat. If you want, you can just do a dip brow by itself. I like to kind of create the shape and then use the dip brow to fill it in. I'm using the dip brow in the color dark brown. And I'm just gonna go, okay, dip brow, a little bit. I know I say everything goes a little bit goes a long way. You literally kind of wanna dip into the dip brow and then take the cap and wipe it off inside the cap. Because you don't want a brush full of product. You kind of want to take off the excess and then just have a little remaining on there. That way you don't just swoon your brow with product. You don't want to overwhelm, huh? You get overwhelmed, so why wouldn't your brow? Alright, so now we're going to fill the rest of that brow in. Kind of start here. Just follow that shape. I'm doing a little flicking movements when I come over here. And using that angle on the brush to really move. I'm gonna start doing my brows like this more often, honey. She's cute. Sorry. A little bit further in there. I'm trying to see, because honestly, I want y'all to see as close as possible, as good as possible. So you literally just fill it in until you kind of get your desired shape. Yeah? Alright, so now where the fun part comes in, you kind of sculpt it out with the concealer. I have this brush from Aesthetica. It's actually an angle brush, but it's a thick angle brush. I think it's actually supposed to be a brow brush. I'm going to use that to carve out my brow. I'm just going to get a good amount of product on the brush. I put it on the back of my hand, and I'm kind of going in there just to get a good amount, not too crazy because I don't want excess product to leak everywhere, but I do want it to shape it out nicely. And so we're gonna go right up on that brow. We're gonna pull up on them and we're gonna shape that brow out. Very lightly. And then I pull the concealer down for blending's sake. You see that? Cool, cool, cool. See that? And then what I like to do after I kind of stenciled the brow, so to speak, I'll take it through here just a little bit in that top corner, very, very slightly, and then I'll take that little spoolie and comb her back through, and that gives a nice fade to the brow. So I'll go ahead and take my beauty blender, or you can use a buffing blending brush as well. I just like to go with my beauty blender and not climb up, but go as close to your brow as possible, blending out that concealer. Same thing on the top. Yep, just like that. You see? So you have that nice, crisp, so to speak, what someone would call Instagram brow. And then on this side, you have a nice, soft, more natural brow. Like an everyday, I woke up like this. This is my brow, honey. This is mine. You can't tell me anything otherwise, because it's mine. You know? So, what do you guys think? That was the brows. Boom, bang. So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Please stay tuned for more tips and tricks on how to do different things. As always, please tell your brother, your mother, your sister, your cousin, your auntie, your uncle, whoever. Joby Styles is where it's at. Chill. And until next time.